Hey, what's going on? Joe here. It is a rainy Saturday and I am running some errands. And I've had this thing on my mind lately. I want to talk to you about speed, not the drug. Is that a drug? I don't even know. That's how relevant I am. The idea of being fast at what you do. The other day, I don't know if you saw this, but I did a vocal session for one of my VIP members who's just become a friend, Ben Holmes. He had a song that he produced that he thought would sound good with me singing it. And so he sent it over and I scheduled a session. He sent the files and the plan was to just take an hour and knock it out. Take a few minutes to kind of hear the song and learn it and then kind of go through, do my vocal thing, punch it in. Well, I decided to do it as, instead of just doing it in my studio, I decided to live stream it on YouTube, and it was really fun. First of all, it's just fun to have people there, almost like a little audience with you. But I think Ben showed up towards the end, which was fun. But one of the things I noticed kind of as I was going, and some of the comments and folks that have contacted me afterward, they were talking about how it was interesting how quickly I work. And if you're just getting into audio and recording, or if you've only ever done like home studio stuff and you've never worked or been in a big studio with an engineer, I'm kind of spoiled being in Nashville. I realize that a lot of what I see isn't what probably the average person gets to see. But you'll go to some of these studios or work with some of these people, and they are just lightning fast on Pro Tools, for example. And you know, using all the quick keys and the shortcuts, and just hey, can you do that? It's done. And it's one of those things that doesn't get a lot of attention because it's just kind of a thing. And the more I think about it, I recognize that that's such a valuable skill to develop as an audio engineer, as a producer. And there's a couple reasons for that. First of all, the more obvious, if you work with other people and you have people coming in to record with you or to work with you, if you're slow at the controls, it just bogs down the experience. I've been in those situations where I'm the musician and I'm just there to perform and to record, and I'm not running the session and running the software. And there'll be even such small things like, hey, I just got done with the vocal. Can I sing a double? And in my mind, they should say, yeah, 1 second, okay, ready to go, start recording. That's kind of how quickly it needs to be. But a lot of times it's, okay, let me create the track, let me set the input, okay, let me make sure there's reverb on there. Can you hear that? It's just there's nothing wrong, it's not bad, but it kind of kills the vibe. There's something about that kind of constant motion thing that can be really great. And that's not to say every musician wants to be in that constant motion and work quickly, but as the producer, it's your job to be ready for whatever they throw at you. It's gotten to a point with me where when someone asks me for something, if it's more than like 5 seconds of me doing whatever I've got to do, I start to get uncomfortable because I want to have it done so they can just keep going. So that's kind of when I'm running a session, especially one where I'm not performing and I'm just engineering or just producing, that's my sole focus, aside from making sure things sound good, which is kind of a given. My sole focus is to serve the musicians and to be ready for them and to be fast so that they can stay in whatever zone they're in. Does that make sense? Because I don't want them to have to sit there waiting for me to do the things that I got to do so they can perform again. So that's something to keep in mind. The other side of the speed thing, maybe you don't work with clients. Maybe you only do your own music, or maybe you're only doing mostly mixing, or work for folks that there's not someone in the room. So in that sense, you could say, okay, I can be as slow as I want. What's the big deal? Well, here's the thing. The faster you get at tasks, and this is all kind of under the underlying assumption that you're doing quality work always, right? We're not talking about doing it so fast and being terrible at it, but assuming you can do the same quality of work or better and do it quicker, a couple of things happen when you're able to do that. First of all, if it takes you 8 hours to mix a song and you can efficiency that's not a right word, that's not a verb. You can make that process more efficient. Then let's say you get it down to 4 hours. Well, what happens? Now, in an 8-hour day, you can mix 2 songs instead of 1. You've doubled your productivity. Let's say you get it down to 2 hours. Now you're doing 4 times the work in the same amount of time. And if you're getting paid to do that, you just gave yourself a 400% raise, because instead of only being able to mix 1 song every 8 hours, you're able to mix 4. And if you're charging the same rate, which you should be charging by the song, not by the hour, then you've essentially made 4 times the money for doing the same work and the same quality work. That's a big piece to it. The other thing is, as a musician, let's just take other people out of the equation. Let's even take money out of the equation. Let's say we're simply doing this for the joy of making music and putting it out there. In that case, if you want to make music and I want to make music, if it takes me a really long time to get a project from start to finish, I start to lose interest in the project. And then it drags on even more. So if I can get quick and have some speed when it comes to that project, even the whole, from a macro level, the whole timeline from start to finish, to more of the micro, like today I'm going to track these guitars and get them done, it keeps the momentum of excitement going. So instead of starting a project in May and not releasing it until the next April, which I've done, I get a lot more enjoyment out of starting it in May and releasing it, in June. That kind of speed, and the numbers don't matter as much as that kind of intensity and that momentum that you carry with it. And then the other piece of it is, if you are faster at making music, then you can release more music. And if you're releasing quality music and you're working faster and still making good quality, then you can make more music, because you never know which piece of music might be the one that connects with people or goes viral or whatever. So you want to give yourself more at bats, so you want to make more music. And if you can make it faster, then you can make twice as much music in a year than you used to. If you put out 3 songs last year, you could put out 6 or 9 this year. So those are many of the reasons, and I'm sure there are more, why I'm such a fan of speed when it comes to making music. It's not speed for the sake of speed. It's not being fast for the sake of showing off for people. It's speed for the sake of getting important things done in less time, so I can either do more of them or I can do something else. Maybe you just want to mix the song and then go hang out with your kids. If you can mix it faster, you're in good shape. All right, I've made it to my destination. I gotta go. Thanks for listening.